Hello everyone. Childhood memories hold a very special place in all our hearts. As a child, I always waited for my summer holidays during my school days. What was most exciting about my childhood days was a time when my cousin brother and I used to hop on to the Bangalore-Mysore Shatabdi Express in order to visit my grandparents, as we spent some time of fun, pampering and enjoyment. Someone would bid us farewell at the railway station and my uncle would wait there to collect both of us and take us to our grandparents. When I was actually cherishing this memory and thinking about it, it struck me. This is exactly how my education system, or many of our education systems in this room today, actually works. Just like a Shatabdi Express. Why am I comparing our education system to a Shatabdi Express? You must be wondering. The journey that we go through is just like the journey that we go through in school as we move on from one class to another. The teacher is like an engine driver who's responsible and takes us through our education system, who's responsible in guiding us for that particular academic year. The principal and the school administrators are just like those ticket collectors who come to you to check if you're seated in your designated places, who are interacting with your parents, and if you're comfortable at all times. The time is set. The journey is well decided. Any deviations or crossovers are never allowed. Instructions are given to us from entry to exit. Isn't this how our education system actually works? The school system revolves around a structure, a curriculum, which holds them from bringing out any kind of newness and lacks the kind of agility required for experiential and impactful learning to happen. Throughout the entire process, we're always instructed. Whether I want to stay back at my journey and enjoy a particular scenery by stopping at a particular station, I'm not allowed. Whether I want to get out of the train because of some emergency and I'm capable enough to reach the destination faster, I can't. Whether I want to relish myself in staying back in the train and enjoy the journey compared to someone else, I'm questioned. This is our education system. Whether a particular subject excites me and connects to me and I love it, I can't study more. Whether a particular subject just doesn't interest me at all, I have to finally write the examination. We're always instructed. Finally, at the end of the train journey, whether we like it or not, we have to get out. We have to get out as soon as our destination has reached. And our destinations are our examinations. These examinations validate our experiences. These experiences and validations actually give us the next ticket to our next class, our new journey, our next train. Don't you all agree? Throughout the entire process of the education system, we're always instructed. We're told how to learn, when to learn, and what to learn. The most important question, why should we learn? Or should we learn alone or together, is always missing and never answered. This kind of education system is what I would like to call an instructional education system. But do we enjoy instructions? The moment we hear the term instructions, the first thing that comes to our mind is being imposed. Instructions are guidelines that we follow blindly without thinking. Right? Changing this instructional education system into an experiential education system is what I propose. And this calls for a change and a challenge in front of us. Why is experiential learning so important then? Whether it's paying that extra money for a fine dining over a takeaway, or whether it's enjoying our movies on a gold class ticket rather than a normal seat, don't we all pay and relish that experience? Isn't that experience the integral part of learning, which is missing in our education system today? How do we bring about this change and challenge is what we need to think about and ponder today. We've always heard change is the only constant, haven't we? But today, let me bring to you a new constant. Change and challenges are both constants in life. The moment we hear the terms change and challenge, what's the first thing that comes to our mind? Difficulty and complexity. But what I love about these two words, change and challenge, is both make us curious, both make us think, both make us question our monotonous lives and change them into curious ones. Don't we ask ourselves, why should I change? How will the change impact me? What is the challenge going to do in front of me? How can I solve it? These questions actually turn our lives. They don't tell us what we should think. Not only do they tell us how we need to think, but they most importantly tell us why we need to think. In order to bring about and correct the present education system, which talks about the barriers, that's the content-based learning, memory-based learning, and individual-based learning, were always thought to be me, I, and myself. We need to move into a system of this more impactful-based learning, where we need to think about we, us, and ourselves. Changing our education system into a more experiential learning is a small change away, and I propose to you my new form of learning, my new 3 C's for more experiential learning to make your next strange journey of learning impactful and experiential. My new 3 C's are curiosity-based learning, connectivity-based learning, and community-based learning. Let's talk about my first important C, curiosity-based learning. Curiosity is the secret sauce to the most highly successful people, says Dr. Kiko, a renowned leadership coach. Curiosity is a simple habit we all can develop. Don't you agree? Curiosity is simple that ignites in us when we ask questions. And these questions can be right or wrong. Why am I saying right or wrong? It's because I'll tell you with my own experience that wrong questions also teach us a very good way of learning. In fact, it teaches us a powerful way of learning called elimination. Elimination ignites in us a self-awareness not to repeat our mistakes again. When we repeat the same mistake again, it's no more a mistake. It's a choice we make for ourselves. It's you to decide whether you want to make a choice to repeat your mistake or you want to make that choice to ignite the curiosity in you. Next, let me share another interesting data with you. Is curiosity only a catalyst to learning? The Harvard Business School, where a scientist, Francesco Giano, did a survey for more than 3,000 employees, where 92% credited curious people with bringing new ideas into their teams and organizations, viewed curiosity as a catalyst for job satisfaction, motivation, innovation, and performance. Curiosity is not just a start to learn, but it's a life skill that we need to curate, cultivate, and develop into an everyday habit. What keeps our curiosity going is that connectivity towards the content in order to bring an impactful community, which is missing in our education system today. When I was discussing with my principal a few days ago, she just shared a data with me where her student preparing for her board examination scored a 98% in the midterm examination that was held. A few days later, the teacher decided to give a surprise test exactly 1 month later to the same syllabus, the same topics, to the same student. And this time, the student scored a 67%. Is that a shocking data for all of you? I'm sorry, it's not for me. If you ask me, and if I go back to my school days, I'm also the same category of student. Aren't we just preparing our children to score great marks in board examinations? But what about retaining that content they reproduce on those examination papers? me show you another meme. How many of you relate to this? I can see a lot of hands go up. Why was it so difficult for all of us to remember all those river names or those king names in our history and geography subjects? But it was so easy for us to remember all our character names in our favorite Netflix shows. Have you ever thought about it? It's very simple. It's because we added meaning to the content we watched. We experienced and enjoyed and had impactful learning on us. Which is why we need to change the present education system, where it's not just about content or memory-based learning, but it's about adding value and meaning into what you learn, which is what's required today. Very recently, I have gotten to social media as a public figure. And actually, I've been very exhausted on how the social media and the Instagram world has been influencing me on my life, both professionally and personally. When I was actually wondering and pondering, what about this Instagram world or social media is that influences me the most? I realized it's actually those influencers. It's what those influencers create and do there on the social media is what influences us. Don't you agree? What do influencers actually do? Think about any influencer you follow. It could be an actor, a sports person, anyone who's influenced you in life. What do? They either teach us something new or they teach us a new approach to something that we already know. Isn't it? How are these influencers doing this then? It's by curiously creating content that connects to their audience as they build a community of their people. When influencers can do it, why can't us educators do it then? Is my question. Experiential learning-centric education system needs community learning, which is the most important form of learning. Whether it's Virat Kohli or that famous influencer who's trying to imitate that made in our regional language, or those troll pages and memes, they're not connecting to their audience on a personal basis. They're creating curiosity and connectivity, and which is why building such an impactful community. Why can't we do it in schools where we have the ability and the culture to touch each child and impact them then? The next thing, how are these influencers creating content? Are they creating content based on what they want or their life is all about? Well, no. They're creating content based on what their audience wants or what their audience can relate to. It's exactly what my friend just did now. Which is precisely why we need to eliminate a school-centric, a curriculum-centric, a teacher-centric education system into a learner-centric education system where the child, the teacher, the student, the parent, the school are all learners and the process of learning is mutual between them. Which is why community learning is the most important thing, but it's not about what I learn or what I want to learn, but it's about what we want to learn and what the world wants to learn. Why are we having this TED Talk today? It's simple, right? It's because I have a set of curiously sitting audience who are seated in front of me, and me as a speaker need to creatively create connectivity amongst you audience based on my content and keep that curiousness going in order to build a community-driven environment. In order to change our education system from the instructional education system to an experiential learner-centric education system, it's a small, tiny, creative change and a challenge in front of us. We need to be curious, we need to be connected, and we need to be community-driven. Only with curiosity comes creativity. Only with connectivity comes commitment. Only with collaboration comes a positive change that's required for a community-driven environment. At the end of the day, what makes our learning worthwhile is our ability to express gratitude, is what I believe the most. And the universal language of gratitude is a smile on our faces. Right? Today, my mission to empower the youth of my country and to impact every child that stands in front of me is to instill into their DNA this element of gratitude as they express their gratitude to every person, to every environment, to everything that influences and impacts them for experiential learning. So let me take a moment today to bring that smile on your faces as you remember to thank 3 people in your life who have made you learn someday at some point of time, somewhere in the world. Take a moment, guys. I don't want you to tell me whom you want to thank, but I just want you to ask yourself, did they make you curious? Are they connected to you, or did they connect you to something important in your life? Are you a part of their community, or are they a part of your community? Which is why curiosity learning, community learning, and connectivity learning are important in order to bring about an experiential, learner-centered education system for a better tomorrow, for a better India, and a better future. Thank you.